Welcome everyone to the Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. I'm Will.
I'm Martin.
So, like I said in the last podcast, you can check us out on Facebook, give us a like at the Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast channel. Also, follow us on SoundCloud now, where the podcasts are getting put up there just now as well. We're going to hopefully get on the iTunes side as well, but we're working towards that. So for the SoundCloud, just search The Gaming Fault / the Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast, and also here on YouTube on The Gaming Fault. So leave us a sub and a like for the video, and hopefully you all enjoy it. So, Martin, Raw last night. So, before Raw came on, we had a big breaking news. Paige is suspended for 60 days.
Lol.
And when I was messaging you, if you read her Twitter account, she's blaming the doctors.
It's a prescription that she is banned under them, but she wasn't allowed it and has to tell whatever WWE doctor's in charge that she's getting them for him to clear it, and apparently she never did that in time for the second time. If I was in her position, addicted to whatever it is Del Rio's giving her, drugs, allegedly.
Allegedly.
It would be the quickest way out of contract. They aren't letting you out.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Do you think we knew there was a rumour, right? She said no, there was nothing. There was no indication, but it's kind of looking there now. But a couple of weeks ago, she wanted out her contract.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I think it's looking more and more likely by the week. That said, she's 23 just now, and she's making insane money because she's got her contract. You get your match bonuses, which obviously she's been missing out on recently because they just stopped using her for some reason. You've got your Total Divas money, plus all the promotion and stuff for that. It's a lot of money to give up.
I think she'd be stupid to give it up at that age.
Well, that's the thing. If she kept working for another 2 or 3 years at the money that's coming in, she could live fairly comfortably, I would imagine, for a good long while, doing the odd appearance here and there, whether it's in the UK, doing crap TV or showing up for Progress or ICW and doing one shots all over.
Yeah, that's
got a valuable name.
Yeah, that's it. Imagine if she came to ICW for the women's title, you would, the Scottish buyers would buy I would buy into it, if you know what I mean, because it's fuck it. There's
coming from all over Europe for the Fear and Loathing next month because it's such a huge show. Just as an example. Yeah. But if she could just save the money and she'll be a lot better off than pretty much everybody in their 20s these days anyway.
Yeah. I mean, to give people an example of how big Fear and Loathing's going to be for ICW, it's in the exact same arena as the Raw and SmackDown live tapings in Glasgow, where obviously Becky Lynch is going to have her titles match.
I should also point out just before that, WWE and TNA have run house shows there, and they've never come close to selling out that arena.
Nope.
ICW have sold out their floor area, the standing, basically.
Yep.
Which, I don't even know how many thousand that is, but it's a fair bit. And given that you've got the likes of Ricochet, Kurt Angle, and the Dudleys coming in.
Is Mick Foley back this year for it?
Yes, he's the commissioner.
Good.
He was the first thing announced for it. And Foley as well, obviously. Given the names that are coming in, you've got to imagine they've probably sold a fair few tickets here to be able to afford these people.
Yeah, I mean the tickets I think that are left now is the nosebleeds. That's
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the ones. Well, that's the ones that look like I'm only going to be able to get. But that, just to give you an idea, this is a big arena. So if Raw and SmackDown, if WWE is going to film live, there for one of their tapings, you can imagine our ICW is going to fill that to capacity, and it's going to be brilliant.
So. Like I say, unlike the WWE tapings, people are coming from all over for this.
Yeah.
Just to see they've been to the biggest show in Europe, possibly ever.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait. Fucking fair play to the guys. So, Raw last night started with Sasha coming out, giving the whole, obviously talked about a wee bit of Eddie Guerrero, and Charlotte's wanting a rematch.
There was one line that Sasha said that made me go, really? And she was saying, I grew up watching Eddie Guerrero lying and cheating and stealing, and I said, I want to be that when I'm older. Really? A criminal? Really? That seemed like a good idea to you to say that? I really wanted to lie and cheat and steal with people.
The thing is, I found it out of character considering she's a babyface. I can see why she said that. Like, obviously, it's a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. He's a fucking legend.
And he was a face for most of that because, well, his cheating was cheeky.
It was comical, but it got the job done, and it's like, fuck, I love that. I just found it so out of place, but you can understand that it's like, okay, it's that wee mini pop to Eddie, and then obviously Charlotte interrupts, but then I started laughing because like Big Rusev comes down with Lana and gets in the ring and starts like arguing with them. Nobody cares about the
silly women, blah blah blah.
And it was so funny. I absolutely love Big Rusev. I think he's brilliant.
Great. And I feel so bad for him that he's stuck where he is just now.
Well, at least I think at least he's getting a lot of TV time and that, and at least he's still in like a title picture.
That is true. He's pretty much carrying the speaking end of this whole feud.
Yeah.
Lana.
When you think when Lana used to do all his talking, and now they're giving him parts, and he's actually quite funny.
Again, though, going back to what we were saying yesterday about his personality building up.
Yeah.
There's little flourishes that he added over time, and now he's come into his own as this very angry,
Eastern European,
clever guy.
Aye.
He can turn a phrase.
One thing I did like about it, obviously, they pushed Lana down, and the two girls done a drop kick on him, and I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, and then that's like the first time there's been women on man at action in WWE for a good 15 odd years.
And then obviously you had big Roman Reigns coming down.
Yeah.
So the crowd gets pumped anyhow because they're like on the ring, and you can tell just they're up for it. You can tell just with that segment that's going to be a match. It's going to be a mixed tag. You can just tell, but you don't know if it's going to be Lana or Charlotte. That was the only thing I didn't get for who's it going to be, because we have seen Lana in the ring once in a pre-show at WrestleMania. But to be fair, I didn't watch that, so I don't know what her in-ring work's like, if it is credible enough.
It's average. Like, right. She knows the basics.
Right. So, but obviously we find out later it was Charlotte it's going to be, but I'll get to that because there's a segment she fucks up again. So,
of course.
New Day come out. So this is like it was supposed to be a tag team match.
No, it was a one-on-one.
Was it a one-on-one? I thought it was a tag team match. It didn't.
No, they're saving that for Hell in a Cell.
Right, I thought this was a tag team match, just the way the highlights done it, and the notes on my person is wrong then, because I wrote tag team match because the way it was like playing out, I thought is Sheamus no tagging in, and because of the way they were cutting it, they kept mentioning tag partner, and I was like, right, okay, he's no tagging in, so it was a one-on-one.
One-on-one with Sheamus ignoring Cesaro by pissing about on Facebook Live talking to people, which I found quite funny. Like, from this whole thing started, Sheamus has suddenly become interested in being entertaining again.
Yeah.
Compared to most of this year where he's just been bland.
That's it, because Sheamus can be funny.
Yes.
He is a funny guy, he is a smart guy. I mean, one of the things I found funny was he was trying to take a selfie with the trombone.
Aye.
That
Francesca.
Francesca, I found it funny. What I did notice, and I was really surprised, Kofi fucking up. I don't know if it was meant, but it was.
I mean, just the timing seemed a little off.
They covered it with like gone right into like obviously the swing.
Oh, this is the advantage of having a guy like Cesaro.
His timing was perfect, and it's like, oh fuck it, that's just grab. Nobody really paid much attention to that, if you know what I mean. It was just like,
I'm just happy seeing Cesaro do his thing.
Everybody was cheering.
No matter who in charge says what, the guy is over as shit. There was a picture he posted last week on Twitter because they did that live event in Bolivia or somewhere outside the arena. There's people with their Cesaro section signs, and then a big group behind those people, of which there was quite a lot, with a banner for Cesaro section.
The
A massive banner.
The guy is over as fuck, and I don't know how.
How can they see this? How is he
I
not up getting the number one contender slot for further down the line?
See, the only thing, I kind of wish he would change. No, I love the way he comes out as his entrance and how he likes that Bond
the
uniform.
James Bond Superman thing totally works.
Change that.
Totally.
Change that song.
Yes.
Change the song. That's it. But apart from that, the guy, he's brilliant. I love him. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Sheamus is warming to me again. I do like this kind of combination. Kofi wins with a quick roll up because Sheamus pissing about, and it was quite good. They tell a good story. You can tell they two are still heated with each other, but they didn't fight in the ring. Everybody was chanting, "Let them fight."
He's that descent for Hell in a Cell. They kept going on about Demolition's tag team run again. Given how things were done in SmackDown with Dolph and his retirement angle, I'm wondering if this is a bait and switch now, which is the best thing possible, because the past little while we've had, like, you know, with the Divas title, Charlotte is closing in on Nikki Bella's reign and all that.
Yeah, it's been passing it like a hot potato.
Well, with the tag team titles, they keep saying Demolition did this and New Day are this far off from it. And I'm wondering if they're going on about it that much to actually throw the bait and switch and have Cesaro and Sheamus win.
And break the record. Break their record.
Stop the record.
Stop their record. Yeah, break them. I wouldn't mind that. Either way, I wouldn't mind them winning it, and I wouldn't mind New Day passing that record. Then,
well, no, because I mean, who knows who Demolition are these days? I mean, your average WWE fan. Don't mean our age, because obviously.
If you take away your age, but the average.
When they're like 4.
The average WWE fan base, if you take, like, say, the younger viewers of it, they're just two guys for the age.
Even like people in their 20s now don't know who Demolition were, because outside of the network, you're not going to see them.
No.
Because, well, let's be honest, they are part of the people suing WWE about the concussions.
Aye.
So Vince and that are the kind of people that go, well, they've got that record, screw them.
Aye. They'll do what they've done with AJ Lee, with that Divas title.
That's what I was suspecting. But at the same time, because of the Doll thing, this has me wondering. Whereas before I was like, oh, well, clearly these guys are going to break the record and that'll be that.
Yeah.
Now I'm guessing it. And that's all I can ask for when it comes to my wrestling. I don't want to be able to guess what happens. I don't want to. I mean, it's fun predicting how events are going to turn out. Mm-hmm. Especially if I win against you. And then I can go,
that's it. Just now we're still drawing.
Aye.
We're going to have to write this down.
Well, we don't need to worry about that till we're previewing Hell in a Cell. Don't worry.
I'll forget.
My note saved to the computer.
Right,
I'll know.
As long as you've got the notes.
If I get gubbed, I can also lie.
You're more professional than me, mate. I mean, I've wrote this down on a pure shoddy bit of paper in red ink. Everything about today. Actually, people, this is how professional I can be. If you know what I mean, Martin's more professional than me. You've got, you know your journalism, mate. I'm just okay.
Well, anyway.
I
don't want to be able to guess accurately 100% of the time or 90% of the time. I want to wonder, and that's what they've done right.
Aye. Then, sorry, on you go.
No, it's alright. I think that's us done with these tag team.
Aye. Let's move away for the tag. Then, on the highlights, I don't know, obviously I imagine it would be a break, but on the highlights it cuts to the coach interviewing Goldberg.
Well, there was just a little section before that with Roman and Sasha and then Rusev and Charlotte, because you know how with Charlotte having argued with Rusev and booted him at the ring, she would obviously tag with him. But then it goes on to Goldberg talking to Coach about Barry Lesnar.
Yep, and this is now adding more fuel. They're going to have a rematch.
See, just before, it's happening in Survivor Series. It's happening. It is happening, because they wouldn't even have bothered having Bill Berg on ESPN to talk about it, and it's going to happen soon to promote the game. But here's the thing, the exact phrase that Bill Berg says was, I beat him once, and Coach says, who's to say you can't do it again? Me! Because Bill Goldberg is 50.
And
You're not going to have this guy do a one appearance to beat Brock. Secondly, I remember the last time these two had a match.
It
was shite.
Fucking, it was one of the worst matches. It was, been building up to it, you were so looking forward to it, because obviously the way Goldberg was pushed in WCW, he was fantastic.
He had a bit of a shit year before it in WWE because of Triple H's Reign of Terror.
Yep,
it's still a marquee match.
Yeah.
And you built it up very well between the Rumble and WrestleMania.
And you had Austin as the ref as well.
Yes.
You had main WWE, fair enough, he was retired, but the main face of WWE, and then you had one of the biggest faces of WCW in the same ring, fair enough, they're not wrestling.
Exactly.
And then you had the youngest face.
It was the whole imagery of it.
Aye.
And you've got their new guy, and then of course the month before it they realise both their contracts are up, both of them are wanting to move on to different things. They add in Stone Cold stunning them, but it was a total fuck you, we're leaving match.
Aye, it was. If you've never seen this, go and watch it on the network.
I dare you.
It's fucking awful. It's, if you think Brock's horrible to watch just now, just constantly doing German. You know Brock's a good wrestler, but all he does is German suplexes. It's went stale. I'm fucking sick of Suplex City now. But
especially when you've got American Alpha doing them better.
Yeah, that's it. They did them cleaner. Because I still think one day Brock's going to kill somebody.
No, I think he's going to injure somebody just by sloppily throwing them over his head, and they're going to land badly.
And then I'm going to wait for Bret Hart coming out and blame him.
Oh God! Bret Hart will probably say you are a liability in the ring, even though you've never had a match.
I know. So that was that. So obviously the big hint it's going to happen. If a match doesn't happen though, mate, it's a Survivor Series.
Here's the thing, right? I'd be alright with that because I've no interest in seeing this.
I've got no interest either. The only thing I think might happen is if, say, Brock's in a match.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck knows, just John Cena. We'll just put John Cena in that. I don't think that won't happen.
It's not going to happen. But for talking's sake,
John Cena. I would imagine Goldberg coming down to the ring and just like a stare off. That would be it. And
distracting Larry or something.
And it'll be like a build up to Mania. It's the only thing I can see.
I don't think they've got the patience for that, and also with the game coming out now, pretty much this is their way of promoting it.
Aye, the game came out today, didn't it?
Aye.
Did you buy it?
No. I'm going to wait the PC version round about WrestleMania time, because it costs half the price, and it's got all the DLC.
Don't know, I might wait at Christmas. I mean, I finished 15, I've hardly played 16.
There's no showcase mode this year. They said they've put more into the career mode.
Oh,
but
good.
Given how bad the career mode's been, I mean, they've got their big new thing for the career mode's a promo engine.
I seen that. I seen the advert for that, and
I
seen
like you pick a sentence.
Oh fuck! So it's like
and then
SmackDown 3.
Tell you, like worse.
Oh,
so you've got your three options, and the top left of the screen, they'll tell you whether the crowd likes it or no. But the three options, you'd need to be a super Asperger's window licker not to know what would get you cheered or booed, or neither. Because that's what it is. Top row's cheered, middle row's neutral, bottom row's booed.
Do you not think it would be better if they integrated it with, obviously, with like the PlayStation microphone or Kinect? Like, say...
Oh, you could shout
something and whatever, like the word generator base, and it's
you
like...
remember Mass Effect 3?
Yeah.
With the Kinect?
Yeah.
Where you had your options, and instead of picking options, you would say a keyword.
Aye.
Just give us that.
I mean, well, I tried it with fucking Skyrim, and that fucked up in me. I always kept fucking it up.
Technology's better now. If I had a microphone in, and then I could pick like the top sentence, which is "I challenge you," and then the guy will go and rabble on about how he wants to fight such and such for whatever. That would be fine.
That would be fine. I think that'd be a cool concept. Even
what I would prefer. Do you remember way back when in SmackDown 2, you had a 4-player career mode, right?
Aye.
And it would say like, oh, it's Raw, and then the whole card would display, and you could pick what matches to play.
Yep. Or
you could just play as the guy that you've chosen for your season, and you would fight each other, and it would set up the feuds based off that.
Because I think my character, I think I'd done 10 years in that. It just never stopped. It was brilliant. That's still one of the best wrestling. I think I've still got that actually.
Do you know what in particular I liked about that? see before you got to the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
you got a hype video for your match.
Oh, it was an amazing game. That's how when at the time I was so looking forward to SmackDown 3 on the PlayStation 2.
And you ended up with 8 people in the ring in that. That's the only SmackDown game to have 8 people fighting at once. And you could have run-ins.
And it brought in the Hell in the Cell as well.
Aye.
First
well, that was in SmackDown 2.
Aye, that's what I'm talking about, SmackDown 2.
But see, if they just... I don't want anything complicated. Just take your time making it, right? You've got your basic setup where you can have your simulation run in the background, then you play the matches you want, and then spend the time developing just all these stories, and then just have them randomly happen based on what happens in the match. You lose, it'll go into this story. You win, it goes into this story.
Yeah.
If it's a draw, you get a third choice.
Yeah.
And then just have different events. Like maybe one month your guy narrowly avoids getting run over with a motor. Maybe the next month he gets battered backstage by a masked assassin. You know, just random generic wrestling things.
They've got to make it a wee bit fresher, I think. It's
long overdue.
Aye, it's need a wee bit of freshness. It's nice putting like the showcase stuff in, but that can get stale quick.
Well, that's not in this year apart from Hall of Fame matches.
Oh fuck!
Which is going to be DLC.
So, right, moving on for games, because me and you could talk for hours in games.
Yep.
Bailey, well, I don't know if there was a
Bailey
segment.
versus Jobber.
Yeah, Cammy Fields. Nothing really much to write home about this one. With what I've
it
seen.
was just a jobbing match. Bailey wins, and then after it, she goes up the ramp and gets leathered by Pontyface Dana.
Dana Brooke came down and battled her.
Led to the very amusing sight of one of the wacky waving inflatable tube men deflating over Bailey.
See, I never seen that.
It looked cool because she goes down and then, like, as if to respond to Bailey getting a doing, they took the air out of them and the thing just flopped over her.
Oh, I never got to see that.
It was dead sad.
So next on the notes on my person.
Well, actually, what they said was next up is Mick Foley. So you had some advert for whatever chocolate sponsors Raw, and then
was it Payday by any chance?
Foley's next. The Cruiserweights came out for a tag match.
Right. Okay. So on the highlights, what I seen was Jericho's in backstage talking, and R-Truth walks by and he's like advertising that Payday bar.
Aye.
And
some
then,
chocolate.
And Jericho's like, I never said that I want it. And then it was aye. Then it was like you said, the Cruiserweight tag team with the guy from Scotland, Fair, wasn't it? Was he on last night?
No, one's not on it. He's not been on yet. He finished up 2 weeks ago with
ICW.
the last of his UK commitments.
Right.
I don't know why he's not been on yet. He's still not been on. Last night you had Tony Nese and Drew Gulak, who are using his cruiser jobbers against
I thought it was him because on the thing they never showed the names, and I couldn't hear the names on the thing because it was the Sin Cara version 2, and is it
El Bocho?
Del Rado? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, but I'm just going to call him One Stora Do because I'm going to give the Cruiserweight division as much respect as WWE has so far on Raw.
Aye, they're no respecting it. Me and Graham actually spoke about this. Now, if you what I seen, the match looked like entertaining. It was entertaining for what they were doing.
It was just a generic house show match. They flip about, the jobbers take the pin. The one thing I will say, which makes this the most remarkable match I've maybe ever seen them in, Sin Cara didn't fuck up once.
No.
That's the first time I've ever seen that.
I mean, what me and Graham were talking about, I don't know if a lot of people would agree with it, but obviously Raw's got 3 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So why not make like the first hour, or say 40 minutes, dedicated
to Cruiserweight?
Do you know what I mean? Promote that to fuck.
That did alleviate the pain of the wrestling intro.
Yeah, and then
I agree.
And then obviously build on for that, and at least your cruiserweights are getting more noticed. It's not just...
they don't even need to use the cruiserweight. See if you had like the opening half hour of Raw being like the pre-show, and then the closing half hour of Talking Smack rip-off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got
2 hours of wrestling. Yeah. They could easily do it. I mean, Sin Cara and... What are you calling them?
I'm calling them El Bocho, and I'm calling the other one Lynn Storadu.
Right, they won. So obviously the jobbers lost. Then this when it cut to... Did anything else happen? Because it went to...
No, it just cut straight to Mick looking like a homeless Santa.
That suit I mean, I know he teased about what he was going to wear, but oh, come on, Mick. I know it's obviously jokes in that way, but Steph, didn't you seem her usual bitchy self?
Well, Steph seemed to have calmed down a bit, but see with Mick, and I don't know if you've paid attention to much of his Facebook stuff, he keeps saying he doesn't feel like he's allowed to call Vince McMahon Vince. And he has to wear suits backstage because he's not allowed to wear his casual clothes. He lost the right. Basically, for someone who's done so much, he seems to have a confidence problem when it comes to WWE, and that's why he's been wearing suits everywhere. And I mean, he does not suit a suit.
No, the guy. To give like some of the listeners like an idea, you've seen Mick a couple of times on his comedy tour. I've seen him once. We go to meet him. Guy is genuinely lovely.
He's fantastic. He's one of my favourite people.
I was there the moon. Finally get to meet him. He signed the book. I was. I knew like the other day I said I've never been awestruck, but I could have said it with him. I mean, because you go to meet one of your childhood heroes, you're like, I'm finally sitting next to the legendary Mick Foley. And
he's such a great person. He gives you a lot of time.
Yep.
You never feel rushed with him, even though he's got hundreds of people coming his way. And like even seeing him the second time, he remembered who I was.
He's such a nice guy. And even on stage, he was still dressed if he was coming out for a hardcore match.
Well, that's just how he dresses.
That's it. He's comfy.
Slacks and plaid shirt and t-shirt on.
I mean, when I seen that suit, I was like, no. See if it was like a checkered shirt, wear a suit, like a black suit, aye, okay. But I know obviously he's probably taking the piss. Like you're saying, if Vince is saying, no, he's going to wear a suit, right, okay, fuck it, then I'll take a piss, I'll wear the
I hope so,
plaid.
I really do.
I hope, because of his sense of humour. But they were going on about the Hell in a Cell, so confirmed the first women's Hell in a Cell match.
Right.
I hope it's going to be brilliant. But we'll wait and see. We'll call it when it's near the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Have they confirmed the US title in the Hell in a Cell yet?
Yes, that was last week.
Right, okay, so that's confirmed.
And then they confirmed that the main event's in a Hell in a Cell, so half the card is in the cell.
But then Kevin Owens and Jericho comes down, and now this is where I started pissing myself, because Jericho
was dressed up as a Bon Jovi reject.
That and the fucking list of Jericho's that is amazing. And obviously put Stephanie on the list because they two have always been rivals. And then she went, no, tell you what, if you beat Seth Rollins, I'll put you in the main event. And then you see him scribbling the name off the list. I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
It's the little touches like that set those two apart from pretty much all of Raw. So
we know what the main event's going to be for Raw that night. So that was them back up the ramp. Did anything else happen that before?
No, they went away, and then Bo and Axel had their wee entrance, a wee quick video of them, deciding to team up. And of course Enzo and Cass come out, and then the club battle them.
Well, this is what I want to talk about with Enzo and Cass. And did you notice how much the timing was off with that run-in? It's like Enzo got attacked, and Cass just stood there looking as if he was a rabbit caught in headlights.
Aye, like, what you doing?
Instantly, man, it was like, your timing's off, bud. So they batter them, and then it's like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, we want opponents, and then out comes Sami Zayn and Neville.
Yep. It was what it was. Short match. Sami and Neville go over because you can't have Bo and Axel do anything.
No.
Except lose, which is a shame. I think Axel's great, and he's just been dicked about for day one.
Aye, he's never.
He really has.
I mean, they put that IC belt on him, I think, more just because of who his dad was. And they
exactly what it was, so they could just have that father and son link with the belt. But, like, your dad's Mr. Perfect. Your name's Joe. Is it just me? Well, I know it's just me. That everybody except Vince, call him Average Joe and have him be really
Average Joe. That would be brilliant. Here's Average Joe.
Everybody knows it. Here comes Average Joe. His dad is Mr. Perfect. He's not going to score like a hole-in-one at golf all the time or a slam dunk in basketball. He's just going to do it like a normal person now and again.
I mean, obviously, because
competent. It's just so fucking obvious that that's the gimmick you should have.
Obviously, if they only had a certain amount of time for that match, we know Bo Dallas and Neville can work. The two of them are good mates. They know each other's moves. They can put them
Everybody's
out.
seen their NXT stuff.
Aye, so probably time constraint. They couldn't really show off what they
Well,
had to
not
do.
even that. I think it's more that they just don't want. Well, they need jobbers,
Aye.
and those are the jobbers, unfairly or not. And I do
So
think fair.
it cuts to on the highlights again. This is the thing I was talking about with Charlotte and Lana, where Lana fucks up with
Aye.
he might be your partner, I mean my partner, and it's
Aye.
like, oh fuck! I was waiting for it going to an American accent now.
It
So
has happened.
it's happened quite a lot well. So it's just basically, he's still my man. That was all it really was. And then we get the Titus brand against R-Truth.
Goldie R-Truth against Titus, and then all of a sudden, all the power cut, and I couldn't see the TV. And then when everything came back on, it was over, and I had missed it. Oh no, what a shame! I'm totally not making an excuse for not watching it.
To give you like the image of what happened, even I couldn't be arsed. I turned round, clap Tory, clap Jasper, turned back, Goldust stamping on the steel steps, and that put fucking Titus brand off and quick roll up
You
pin.
kidding me on? Is that what the excuse was for him losing?
Aye, that was it. That's how he lost. He got put
Why
off with
did we even
Goldust.
bother? We should just have just went. So R-Truth and Titus happened,
It
and
was
next was Kendrick and TJ backstage.
yes. Now
No, sorry. See, whenever I see TJ Perkins with his video game stuff, man, all I can think of is fucking Poochie for The Simpsons and it's been scratchy. You know, or Steve Buscemi and 30 Rock.
Mate,
Hey there, what? It's not fellow kids.
I love his entrance music. That seems to be the only thing I like about this guy. His moveset's good, but it's just he's boring as fuck.
He never interested me in TNA, and he doesn't interest me now.
He just
And also, that cruiserweight belt is a disgrace.
it should have been black.
It's a 50 pence piece.
I thought you were going to talk about the purple belt.
Oh, aye, a 50 pence piece on a bit of purple plastic, not even leather looking.
Brian Kendrick's
Piece of shit.
still awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Brian
There's-
Kendrick's the man, he's always been the man.
Yeah, he always is awesome. So there's nothing I
As
can
far
say
as I'm
about him.
concerned, him winning the WWE title during that championship scramble counts as an official 10-minute reign, and I'll not hear anybody else say otherwise.
Nah, he's fucking great.
He's the man.
So it was just a stupid backstage segment where like he's saying, "Oh, you should be who you used to be," and Kendrick gets up to hit
Blah,
him,
blah, blah.
and
Phil,
then
Phil Radical, blah, blah, blah.
aye. So
And
then
Brown
we
Strongman came out.
against two fucking local jobbers.
The Splash Brothers, Stephen and Clay Splash, who seem to have a Dudley Boys thing going on, because one was white and ginger, the other one was black and not ginger.
What was his outfit all about that fucking...
I don't know, I just
Oh.
laughed as they got crushed.
So he got crushed, basically.
Of course he did.
That was it.
Brown Strongman crushed him with his weird, stupid, dangerous reverse choke slam move.
We're not
I don't
going
like that.
we're not going to
I
talk
don't like
about
that
it.
move.
It was a shite, fucking basically.
I still don't like that move. I think it's going to hurt somebody.
It was just so boring. That was it. Basically,
That's what he needed to do. He picked
what he
them
needed
up
to do,
and
but
put
it's-
them down.
it's like, right, okay, how many weeks are you going to do this? Now we had it all with Ryback. If you do, you know what I mean?
I know, but now they're doing it differently because after the match, Brown grabs the mic and
Yep.
announces Foley gave me actual opposition.
Which will be, I would imagine, Kane. No, Kane's in SmackDown, isn't he?
Do you know, honestly, I don't know anymore.
Kane's in SmackDown.
Big Show, he's
Could
on
be-
Raw.
Could be Big
They
Show.
just don't use him.
No.
Um,
So then we got the match.
although they might just be leaving him on ice to the Rumble or Mania.
Yeah.
Because I know Big Show's looking to retire, so I'd imagine they're just keeping these actions to a minimum to make it a big deal when he shows up against him for Mark Henry.
So
But
it was just, he wants a bit of
I
a
really don't
challenge.
know who he's going to be up against. I mean,
No, you're the one.
you know, it could be somebody new or somebody up for NXT.
I'd be
I
really,
don't know.
I'd be really surprised if they feed him to, right. So it's a go home. It's a go home show. Say they put him with either, well, I think, say they put him against Roman Reigns and Rusev
Well, I
crossed
think
him.
what's going to happen is that for Hell in a Cell, you're going to have Roman finish off with Rusev, whatever the outcome, and then your man Brown is going to be. He'll be given somebody who's known. I really don't know who they've chosen, but it's going to be somebody with a recognisable name that's lower on the card. He's going to cover them at Hell in a Cell. Then he'll go into the feud with Roman, probably for Survivor Series, and lose.
Yeah.
Unless they keep them apart for a wee bit longer, in which case they'll have Brown Strongman put in a strong showing at the Rumble.
So
Really don't know.
we had the mixed tag team match, and for what I've seen, it looked alright.
Well, there was a wee promo before it, but you know, all the power cut in the world ended for 5 minutes, and then it came back. It was over again. Oh well.
Well, I never seen the promo. They just cut straight to it, and for what I've seen,
Oh, that was the other thing. See, after that wee promo, a Royal Rumble promo came on.
they never showed it on that. I seen that on YouTube.
Again, we were saying the Alamo Dome being like 73,000 or whatever they're aiming for. That's why they're advertising it. But I've never before seen the Royal Rumble advertised before Survivor Series.
They're doing it early because I've seen it. Where they actually done it during the No Mercy pay-per-view, mate. I know. Come to think of it, they done it as well.
I know they'd mentioned it, and there was a wee bit about it being the Alamo Dome in Texas.
Because JBL was going on about it.
Yeah, but there wasn't the full-on proper hype video.
No, it wasn't a video. It was just like the tickets are available.
Just mention it. That's standard, but to actually promote it with a hype video,
there must be no selling it quick enough, mate. That's
it's on sale till Friday.
Is it Friday they're on sale?
That's why they had JBL talking about it in the first place.
Right.
But I've never before seen them, like with the exception of WrestleMania, because it's WrestleMania.
Aye.
Hype one of the other pay-per-views before one of the other big four, which being Survivor Series traditionally.
Yeah, and you've hardly heard anything of Survivor Series.
Aye, exactly. It's bizarre, isn't it?
That is very bizarre. Usually, like you said, you usually push the big four. But unless they're really no counting Survivor Series, then.
Well,
but remember years ago they were actually going to drop it.
Aye.
And you can't do that. That's
a lot of people got annoyed at it because it's a unique show. But then pretty much with the Survivor Series, they've dropped everything unique about it apart from the token elimination match.
Yeah, it's not the same as what it used to be. I mean, one of the great Survivor Series pay-per-views was the Deadly Games. Deadly Games was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. It just refreshed it.
Survivor Series that, and then have see in between those tournament matches for a title, one of your big titles, obviously, but in between rounds, you could do your traditional Survivor Series match. Because to get everybody on the card, as many as possible.
Say they've done the Deadly Games again and go like, Gary, whoever wins the Deadly Games get a title shot at Royal Rumble. And then if I win at Royal Rumble, I'm going to Mania as a champion. That would be fucking brilliant. And it links they three together. SummerSlam can get to fuck. That's trying to be WrestleMania.
Just its own thing.
Aye, that's trying to be another WrestleMania with SummerSlam access. And
personally, I think it's too soon after WrestleMania to have an event like that.
Yeah, I like the run-in. See, as soon as it gets past Survivor Series, that's when it's like a fucking right, no, we're gone, because the Rumble's next month.
Of course, aye.
So that would be amazing to do something like that. That would be like so. It would be refreshing as fuck, but it's like
plus they can bring back that song.
Aye, and William Regal, the man's man.
He's a man, such a man.
Oh, that was brilliant when he came up to that. So we had the mixed tag.
It happens.
Roman Reigns
and Roman won.
But what I did like was when Sasha had Charlotte in the bank statement, and Roman Reigns leapt them into the spear. I was like, that's fucking cool as fuck.
It did look cool. See with Roman, I have nothing against the guy. He's just we've been over. Well, we haven't been over it.
We've not been over it yet.
So Roman, everybody's saying, "Oh, he's pushed down our throats. Oh, I hate him." The guy can go in the ring. He's limited, yes, and the Shield had disguised that, but he's not as bad as people assume.
No, he's not a bad worker. That's the thing.
The spear looked great.
He can
kicking outside of the ring that he does looks great.
He can carry a match. That's the thing. Like I say to you, I think the only bad match I've really seen him in was the Triple H one, which I was surprised at because you think, well, Triple H is a great worker. He should be able to fucking.
Well, after what they've done a wee bit prior with the Ambrose and Triple H match, you would expect Triple H knowing that he's in for and having to carry Roman. But they never clicked. They just never clicked.
Because what I've seen of Rusev, doing drop kicks, a guy his size doing drop kicks, and
Rusev's phenomenal.
He's fucking amazing.
I cannot wait till they finally put him where he belongs at the top.
Yeah.
This is the only problem that Raw has just now. Because of how they balance the rosters, a guy like Rusev and a guy like Cesaro, anywhere else in the world, anywhere they're main eventers.
Aye.
But because the very top of the card also has such exceptional people in Seth and Kevin and even Jericho, who's hovering around there.
Jericho I'd put back in the main event picture now.
Well, I was expecting it, but anyway, that's the only problem that's holding them back. There's too top heavy almost.
Yeah.
So as a way of remedying that, you've got, well, and again they're doing the same in SmackDown, where Dolph goes from being in the world title picture a month later he's in the Intercontinental title, which is helping elevate those belts.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I loved when John Cena was a US champ with the Open. They made more credibility of the championships again. Cause
and then you've got Seth taking it off him, your top man was holding that belt, and then he drops it again. And it kind of lessened a little with the whole Del Rio bit. But again, Rusev gets it back, it's back up there. Then you've got Roman, again, a main eventer. He's now got that belt, it elevates the belt.
I mean, because like for anybody again that's didn't watch like say like the Attitude Era, with the IC belt and the European title, I still held them like high as fuck.
But especially the IC, because that was your graduating belt.
If you get that belt, you know within at least a year, let's say a year, right, a year's plan.
6 months to a year, you're planned for a
champion. That's how it always worked, and you loved it that way. And like over the last, a wee bit different.
It's over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it's the shadow of the two titles. Well, the US title, because that obviously was a WCW title, and the European one got retired. I still think the European one should have come back for Rusev. I think that would have been brilliant.
I would have loved that. The heat would have been insane.
Yeah.
And I remember when Cesaro got the US belt way back on SmackDown, he threatened the same thing to get great heat on it as well.
I think it would have been brilliant. But I'm happy the way it's been pushed with like the main eventers that were gone for.
All shows the IC and US belt are finally getting what they deserve. Yeah. They're a big deal. The high profile feuds that are with them.
It's been great to watch the belts again getting the recognition they deserve. Sorry.
Just before,
no, you go on.
The IC belt and US belt don't look like shite toys.
No,
they look like belts.
I mean, I've still, well, you're going to hate me for this one, but I've got the US belt, the Cena one.
The spinner belt?
The proper spinner belt, no the toy one. I've got the big fucking heavy bastard.
$100 thing.
The Edge one's better. I prefer, I've got my Edge spinner. That one.
The Edge one was fun.
That's my favourite belt. I need to put it up in the wall somehow. That's the how I've got to do it. It's in a bag just now because obviously my Transformer room I had to redecorate and that, but I still got them in a bag. I need to get them in this room. This is the second man cave. I need to get them in this room. I don't know if on the highlights it cuts to like Kevin Owens backstage with Jericho.
Yes, it was him and Jimmy Jericho, and Tom shows up where Tom gets put on the list, and then I can't even remember what it was. Jericho called him.
You're on the list because
something. That's not my name.
He was like, "Oh, because you're going to ask stupid questions," and then you're on the list. Funny, it was entertainment. That's all it was, and then.
Then we got
the man himself. The man himself, Paul Heyman, legend, still in my eyes, mate. He's still a legend.
Absolutely love seeing him a couple of months back. It was fascinating. It was like a promo class.
The videos I seen and how he's speaking to ICW and stuff like that, it was like
phenomenal. I mean,
he's brilliant.
Poor Mark Dallas, I say poor, I mean, because he had a massive ready. But he was like, I felt so proud for him because Heyman took those 5 minutes to say that he's been watching ICW and he can't believe what the guys have achieved and couldn't praise him enough. And Dallas pretty much lit up.
If you've got like the character Paul Heyman, but if you've got the legit Paul Heyman and he gives you praise, that is like something you're going to take to the end of the days.
It was incredible to see and completely warranted in every way.
Definitely.
But then about 5 minutes after that, he did say to my pal, by the way, Bubba Ray Dudley would absolutely destroy you. I don't think she was expecting that answer.
No. So he comes out and he drops a promo for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg anytime, any place. Drops a mic and then walks out. So that was basically all we were getting to Paul Heyman. So it was just adding more fuel to the fire. So we know something's going to happen.
Billy Umberg is going to show up on Raw next week.
They didn't show that in the highlights, so I didn't know about that.
Well, there you go. He's tweeted after the promo that he's booked his flights, he's coming to Raw next week. So it's pretty much on.
Interesting. So then we had another cruiserweight match.
With Kendrick on commentary.
Which was cracking. TJ Perkins against, I just put
Baddy. There's Daivari Jr.
I just put Baddy, mate, because they never showed his name.
It's Daivari's wee brother.
Right. The match looked...
Also called Daivari.
The match looked alright.
It was fine. Again, nothing spectacular, another house show match.
Again...
They did their thing.
Again, like we said, the cruiserweight should be... If that's like the first 40 minutes of the hour, the opening show, they give them more time, no... Just like a wee, like, quick 10-minute spot.
It's quite jarring because they change everything for them coming out. The ring ropes are purple, the stage is purple, the ramps. If you just the section instead of just, here's the warning for your piss break. The colours change.
So TJ Perkins won. But I don't know if did Kendrick run down or anything like that. It didn't show in the highlights.
He was just spearing up my bit, and then that cut to Hispanic Heritage Month, which is totally a real thing.
Oh fuck!
And this time it was Tito Santana.
I didn't see that
that's because that's not a highlight of anybody's night.
Because then I've got obviously the main event, which looked fucking brilliant to watch.
Best match of the night, obviously.
I love the new Seth Rollins t-shirt. Pity they can't put fucking on it, but that's a t-shirt I'm after getting now. Jericho. I seen what you're talking about, mate. I seen what you're talking about when you're like that. Like he's took care of. You can actually see in his body. He's took care of himself now, and you'd think this is a Jericho from maybe about 15 years ago. He still looks as good as they did then. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels. Clearly interested, he's clearly motivated, he's clearly having a great time being a bad guy again.
He's enjoying himself. Kevin Owens comes down, obviously, to back up his best friend to try and put off Seth Rollins. Jericho nearly gets a pin.
And then he did this flying nothing.
Yep.
After teasing something for ages, and then goes in, gets put into a roll-up, and then loses out of nowhere. Of course, there's still another 3 weeks to go until the pay-per-view. I still expect Jericho to be added in some way, even if it's just to rip off the cage door or hide under the ring or something. Because they're going to keep teasing that dissension between him and Kev, as they well should. That'll explode somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, right, my only problem with those two going at it is I don't want either one of them to be a face.
No, I think the two will probably stick as heels, mate. Because the two of them work better as heels. Kevin Owens one of the ones, like I was saying, it would never matter if he was a face or a heel, the crowd still love him.
Well, I also think that Kevin, having been so influenced by Steve Austin, will play exactly the same character as a face, just like Stone Cold did around about 97, 98. He was the same as a heel as he was as a good guy, and he didn't change that character until 2001. We all know what happened there. I think, given Kev's influence from Austin, he's smart enough to play it the same way, and he well should, because I don't know if you've ever listened to one of his podcasts that he's been on, because he did years ago. He did Art of Wrestling, and then he's done Jericho's. Obviously, he appeared on Stone Cold's own one, and he told a story in Stone Cold's one which was fantastic. Back in the old days for him, in about 2008, him and El Generico, God rest his soul, were on a flight.
Yeah.
On the same flight was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and of course the flight's delayed and all that shit. You need to talk to fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know why you bothered nominating Stone Cold Steve Austin. So eventually they work up the balls to go and talk to him, and he says Austin gave him the best advice he's ever heard, and it's something that's brought him to WWE and that he's never going to forget. Austin listened to what the guy had to say and told him one thing: never stop running your mouth. Never. So, as you very well know, when Owens does his matches, he's always mouthing off. Backstage bits, when he's not on the mic, he's still adding to what people are saying. Always a cheeky prick, always trying to get under people's skin, and that's what makes him so good.
Yep, he is.
I mean, I've watched Kev from the Ring of Honor days when my friend Tony put me onto him in Generico. I've been a fan for years. He's phenomenal, and it makes me so happy to see where he's got to. Honestly, he deserves it so much. Everything he's done, he's consistently been one of the best heels the past 10 years.
He's such a great character. Like, instantly you buy into him. It's not like you gradually buy into him. It's like you just instantly you bought right into him. Because obviously at the end of that match, he leaves Jericho hanging, so Jericho gets a pedigree.
Yep.
And he walks up the ring, and that's basically the end of Raw. So it's going to be interesting. Is the best friend's going to have a wee moan about this next week because he basically left him to get a pedigree?
Well, part of the promo earlier on, he was saying we both know that one of us has to take a bullet sometimes. So you can see where Kevin's argument's going to be.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting next week.
I do think it's going to result in Jericho being added to the match, regardless.
There'll be something, mate. There will be something.
It's going to be so entertaining.
So we've got SmackDown the night. Nothing's came out at all, so we've got no information on SmackDown yet. So
well, I do know Kurt Hawkins is finally making his debut.
I was going to actually say that's something we forgot to mention was Kurt Hawkins put his foot in the ring, but that was it.
To be fair, I was just looking for the match since we're already going to be in for 3 hours of wrestling the other night.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him back again. I don't like the 2005 Chuck Norris fact gimmick. Although your average punter isn't going to know it's from 2005.
No.
I just think, it would have been fine if he'd done it 5 years ago. Not now. It just makes me roll my eyes. We know he can go in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how they're going to use him in SmackDown, if he's going to be a jobber or a utility guy.
I would imagine utility.
I think so as well. Just the thing is, we remember Jinder Mahal's back. When's the last time you seen him on the telly?
That's a good point.
And I'm wondering if they're going to end up using him like that. And just kind of waste the fact that he's there.
I hope no. I hope they'll do something with him and Ziggler. Sorry, fucking Zach. That would be interesting. That would be.
I would expect that at some point. Maybe not straight off the bat.
No, I'm
going to be up against him all night.
No, straight off the bat. I'd be really surprised if they actually did. Or like they'll feed them to Joe Riley or something. I'd be really surprised if they do Zack Ryder right away tonight.
No chance.
But we'll see what happens. That's for the podcast tomorrow. So let's wrap this up, big man.
Aye. Thank God we survived.
Shortest one yet as well.
We give it something to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Yep, we'll talk about games. There you go, if we did talk about games for 5 minutes there. So, everyone, like we've said before, check us out on Facebook, Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. Fucked it up again. I've got to get better at this shite, mate. I really do. How the fuck can I promote our thing if I fuck it up?
Just write it.
I'm going to have to write on my screen. So that's the Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. It's the best podcast you're going to hear in Glasgow just now. We're also on SoundCloud. Like I said, go and follow the Gaming Vault /Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. This will be up there shortly as well. Also on YouTube at the Gaming Vault. Leave us a sub and a like for the podcast. And that's been us again. So I've been Will.
I've been Martin.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers.